Peace and prosperity be unto all who's listening and watching. It's your girl, Lachey Miller, right? And I'm back with another video. Today's video is about book recommendations for entrepreneurs and people who are inspired to do something great with their life. And ultimately, this is not going to be the only video about different books. Today is going to be a book recommendation of physical copies that I have on me. And not only do I, have physical books, I have audio books. I have books on my flash drive where I have to read it from my phone or my computer or some type of device. So I have different types of books, and today's gonna be the one about the physical copy books that I have. I have a lot more books than this, but this is just a few brief books for anybody who's looking to buy some really amazing books and want to grow and be better as an individual. So let me start with this one. It's called The Unfair Advantage, or Unfair Advantage by Kevin David. Powerful book. Amazing, guys. If you're like a YouTuber or somebody who's a network marketer or anything, wanting to grow or have an idea about creating your own course, this is the book right here. He gives like all the tips, budget strategies, what platforms you should focus on, and what are the most important platforms that you should really be working on, and in order to expand your business. And that's a really powerful book. It taught a lot because there's a lot of stuff involved in this book that I'm actually doing right now. So ultimately, that's a really good book. Also, this one, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Cardone. Dale Cardone. This is an awesome book. If you struggle with making friends or having or communication or anything like that, this is ultimately teaches you the fundamentals of communicating with other people. Now, it doesn't do the work for you, but it definitely explains basic fundamentals for the brain, and ultimately it helps you with communication skills. But even if you are bad at it, this book will take a while to get down. Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. These names are not easy to pronounce, but this is a great book for anybody who is looking to do better, be better, expand their business. If you're somebody who wants to expand financially, this is definitely a book you want to read. This is definitely somebody who knows what they're talking about, become very, very successful over time. But yeah, you definitely want to look into that. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. This is The Elements of Style. I'm an author and a writer, so I definitely improve my style of writing, pronunciation, and different things like that. I also got a dictionary that helps me with different words, so I can expand my vocabulary and things like that, because it's really important. A webinar, New World Dictionary is important as well. I also have this book of inspirational quotes of the most powerful women in history, from years, centuries ago, from generations, and then from now. It's amazing women in here with one or two quotes by their name, and it's just so impactful to see generational of women with what they've accomplished and what they've overcome and the things they've said over the years. This is another book that helps me with my writing. But this is different from the webinar book. It has to expand your vocabulary is different from a webinar book. It has a lot of different vocabulary compared to the webinar. The thing about, language is just that you can find a word that means the same thing, but you could say something more profound. So just like having a greater vocabulary. So I'm a poet, and I have a book of Edgar Allan Poe in this thick collection of books. I enjoy reading poetry. I enjoy reading amazing books. I can't wait to see the day that Lachey Mallory, have a bestseller in the poetry books that I've already created, because I work so hard on the things, and I one day want to see my poetry collections become very successful and help millions and millions of people. I believe Edgar Allan Poe is a pretty interesting person based on his writing. A lot of poets from back in the day are really interesting. My book collection is very expanded because I'm a very expanded person. So it doesn't just remain in one specific thing. It definitely expands out to other stuff. So I got some spiritual books as well. This is called Mindful Works by Dave Gels. Mindful Works. The inner works is so important for us as individuals, that we learn to work on ourselves. We learn to work on being more connected with the universe, and we expand our well-being from the inside out. This is another book. It's called Everything You Need, You Have. And that's ultimately true. But it's not until we fully know who we are and fully get to a place where we're calm and happy with what we have. This is by Garrett Kite. If I might not be saying these names right. But these are two spiritual books. Meditation, mindful works. Meditation, anything with the spirit, you want to have something on it. You want to get back to a state of being where you're very mindful of your surroundings. This book by Amy, her name's upside down. Amy Herman. This is a really good book as well. It changed up the perspective. It sharpens, it sharpens your perception, and it changes your life. It allows you to see differently than what you would normally see, and the stuff that would cloud your mind will ultimately be different from how she writes. She's like a photographer. I think she's like a police officer as well, based on the book. And she has a totally different life, but she used her life to change the perspective of how art is and how things are, and wrote things through her own experience, through her own eyes. And I thought that was pretty powerful. Also, here's another book. It's called The 5 Love Languages. And every person should have their own selective language. Each individual desires love differently. But ultimately, my higher subconscious allows me to know that we all should have all 5. But because the neglect and the abandonment and things of this earth, we only have a selected few individually. So we are at a very need of love. And this is a very powerful book if you're struggling in your relationship, struggling to understand how your partner works, or whatever the case may be. And struggling to understand your own self, because we all communicate differently. So this will help you understand those things better. Think and Grow Rich. Napoleon Hill. It's a really good book. It's believing in the unseen, it's basically like faith. It's talking about faith, basically. Believing in the infinite possibilities that something can happen even though it's not happening right now. Though you cannot see it, though it's not here right now, though it's not happening when you want it to, believe in the infinite possibilities of things happening for you, and ultimately things will work out. The Acrimony Worked by Galen. This is a really powerful book, guys. Very deep. It's not a very surface book. It's very good for the mind. If you like books that are profound, very profound, go deep beyond the surface, this is definitely a good book. I suggest you look into it. I personally read the book in one day. I know the book is small, but the book is really good, and that's part of why I read it so quickly. Because, if a book isn't good, the person is not going to read it in one day. I don't care how small a book is. But if a book is good, anybody would finish it like this. Okay, that's it. Let me see. These are some newer books I just brought not too long ago. It's called The Four Agreements. And this is a good book as well. So this is going to help in a lot of aspects as well. Like I said, I buy a lot of different books, whether it's for the subconscious, whether it's for the physical, spiritual, the mental, communication, whatever I lack in skill. I buy books. Like mindset. I'm strongly for mindset. I'm all about mindset. This is a new book I just brought not too long ago about mindsets for success, the new psychology of success. I have another book that I'm reading on right now. It's called The Psychology of Selling. And that is powerful. But I can only read a few books at a time. A lot of these books I've already read. The last few books are the ones I've just brought. So Leaders Eat Less. And I believe that should be true. It's by Simon. Also, Taught Like Ted. The 9 public speaking secrets of the world. Top minds. So if you have trouble with speaking or talking, then this will help you. The 4 essential keys to effective communication. This is my poor skill. I'm very ineffective in communication. It's not that it's just that a lot of things growing up, I just wasn't very good at it. I'm not very good at a lot of stuff. So the 4-hour work week. This is like, I've been hearing about it in the entrepreneur world for a very long time, and I finally got my hands on this book. It's pretty thick. Most of these books are pretty long, which means it will take me some time to finish and get through with all of them. But ultimately, the biggest thing is getting there. So, the definition of body language. All right. So, getting to a place where I understand of the things that I'm weak in, and that I find a way to strengthen my weaknesses by improving my mental capacity, my skill, my belief, my way of thinking. That is really important. So I hope you guys have a prosperous day. I hope this book, book recommendations have helped you guys. Comment, subscribe, like this video, share with a friend, and thank you for being a part of the Mayola movement. And I'm so glad for anybody who takes the time to watch my content. I love you all.